there where he was drowned with the famous ship Titanic sank. So that's the entrance to the Memorial Church. And this is the Science Center building. This is where undergraduate students are taught various science subjects. The Science Center building of Harvard University. And this magnificent building is the Memorial Hall. It's a church. Inside it there is a big auditorium where important events of Harvard University takes place whenever they want to do something indoors, not in the not in Cambridge's main fire station, this building. And see the traffic going both ways. Memorial Hall. Concerts and other musical functions take place inside this building. Payne Music Hall is the name. The long building from one side to another, it's a big distance. And these are the columns in front of the hall. That's the main entrance. Let me zoom in. See those steps? That's the entrance to the building. Harvard Law School Library is situated inside this building. That's Langdale Hall, and this is Law School's campus. This is the yard where Law School's graduation ceremony takes place, and that red building in front is called the Hauser Hall. That's the entrance to Hauser Hall. It's one of the modern law school buildings. Langdale Hall is pretty old, but this is comparatively new.
My name is Dean Williams, and I'm a professor of public policy here at the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University. And as we think about young leaders throughout the world today, we are seeing a lot of young men and women who are in their early 40s who are providing leadership for their nations. This is certainly so in Lobsang has been able to interact with these people with amazing skill and ability. Certainly, as a scholar, he brings enormous understanding to the challenges faced in terms of exercising leadership for national development and international development. So as I look at Lobsang and his approach to leadership, I see somebody with an amazing array of talent and capability and skill that will serve him well and serve the people well as they plan, implement, and solve the necessary problems that they have to confront as they move forward, certainly for the rest of this 21st century that is going to have its own set of very demanding and unique challenges. Enormously difficult and complex leadership cases on how to fix broken governments, how to generate rapid development, how to enhance productivity and performance in bureaucracies. He has a very firm understanding of what's required to be able to do that. Not just intellectually, but we are dealing with real problems here, and so I think from a very practical and pragmatic point of view, he has the kind of style, capability, and talent to be able to do this and do this well. And I think he could be an extraordinary leader. So, thank you.
I'm Henry Stahner, a professor, now Professor Emeritus at Harvard Law School, Lobsang Sangay, and my work with him when I acted as his academic supervisor in the writing of his master's thesis and later as one of two supervisors in the writing of his doctoral thesis. The doctoral thesis took very inventive and novel directions by exploring the relationship or potential relationship between the exiled Tibetan community based in Dharamsala and democracy. Now, what had to be done was for Lobsang to engage in not only a very careful examination of the government in exile, detailed many visits, interviews with many of the participants, leaders in that Dharamsala-based government, but also the whole history and theory of democracy as it developed over numerous centuries in the West, and now is characterized mostly by countries in the West, plus India, Japan, and several others that are now part of the democratic world, Latin America, and so on. Now, what is impressive is that over this period of time with a doctorate, Lobsang developed a very impressive scholarly knowledge of theory, concepts, history, and the many different contemporary manifestations of political democracy. He's woven these into a set of proposals involving a close, useful description of the government in exile and ways in which it could and indeed has developed, in some of the fundamentals of a democratic movement, including, of course, elections as perhaps the core concept. Through this thesis, he's become very widely known. It's been read widely by people in interested communities. And more broadly, he's become a figure of significance in the Tibetan exile community, consulting with both many journals and bodies of opinion, government bodies, and so on in his work in the field. I think he's shown himself to be not only an effective scholar acting in really new ways and new paths in making these explorations, but as a leader who's been able to summon a lot of interest in his own country and to change in some fashion ideas of numerous people about ways in which Tibet could develop, both now and perhaps someday in its own autonomous or independent way on Tibetan soil. Thank you. Still more than